Jasmine, maybe you could just introduce yourself, your role. Yeah.
Sure. So I am Jasmine Taylor, and I lead consumer marketing for Instacart. So what is consumer marketing? It's brand marketing, product marketing, and consumer insights.
So I am what my title says. I run strategy and marketing and partnerships for Airship. So why don't we get right into it?
Yeah, let's get into it.
So Airship's been on the front lines of mobile since our founding 15 years ago. And every year we do a study. And in that study, we find that people value the most convenience. Apps, whatever they're doing, websites, if it saves them time and simplifies their life, they're happy. So how does convenience factor into what Instacart is all about?
Yeah, I mean, convenience is exactly what Instacart is all about. It's really at the core of our mission, which is to give people access to food that they love and more time to share it together. And so really what we do is obsess about convenience, making sure that our experiences are always magical, that we get you whatever you need when you need it. And as we think about, what that means, that's sometimes speed, but it's also our selection. Having over 1,500 retailers on our platform, you can pretty much get anything you need. And as we think about the future of grocery, we also think about that in terms of the mobile web, yes, and also like how people shop on the online. And so yeah, we really obsess about making sure that those experiences are magical for the customer.
Yeah, so convenience is saving time, but it's also simplifying lives, and
Yes.
that has
Yes.
a lot to do with selections and how
Yes.
they're presented and the experience I
Yes,
guess people have.
100%. In fact, we recently announced a partnership with New York Times, right? So New York Times Cooking has wonderful recipes, and now every recipe on New York Times Cooking is directly shoppable on Instacart by a click of a button. So it's really an example of just sort of that seamlessness, that effortlessness we try to build into the experience.
Yeah, that's really smart. So you buy all this food, now it's what you do with it, right? Yeah.
Exactly, yes.
So if you think about convenience, then how does that factor into the work you do as a consumer marketer?
Yeah, so we think about marketing. The marketing has to express that promise of convenience, right? And so a lot of what we do is making sure that we reinforce that value proposition. Some of the things that really bring that to life is the New York Times partnership, right? Because it's both a product experience, but also a marketing effort to make sure that people are aware of the experience and shop online. And then when we think about things like even our seasonal marketing, it really follows the retail calendar. We have unparalleled data we can see today what are the categories that people are shopping and what's spiking. And so we build seasonal campaigns that really reflect what customers want. And then they can come in and seamlessly shop those items.
Very cool. So one of the other things that we found in this study is what people actually don't want. And what they don't want is to be disrupted from the experience that they're having. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people at this conference are contributors to some of the things that people don't want. What I mean by that is you're in an experience, you're on the website, you're in an app, and you're doing something, and all of a sudden that screen is taken over by an ad, right? You're getting people's attention, but you're disrupting that experience. So how does that idea of I don't know, consumer behavior and how they're reacting to those kind of things influence the kind of work you're doing?
Yeah, so what we do know is when people grocery shop, they do expect to see deals, right? They expect to know, what's on sale. And when we think about, ads on Instacart as a retail media platform, that same ethos of seamlessness we keep at the forefront. And so we think about how to leverage our data. We understand the things that you typically shop. We understand what are the things that most people are shopping. So we're able to really serve ads in a way that are fully integrated into the experience and not disruptive.
Is that what Instacart Ads is?
Yes,
or is
that's
that something?
exactly what Instacart
Okay.
Ads is, right?
Okay.
So when you're going through the shopping experience and you see sponsored products, they're relevant to the experience. And so they're not there to disrupt you or distract you. They're there to really be additive and drive discovery for you. And in fact, what we see is for brands who, buy ads on Instacart, they typically, like on average, see about a 15% lift in sales. And what that indicates is, like, people really do love our ads.
Is that a big growing part of your business from a revenue stream standpoint?
Yes.
Yeah, seems like every major marketer or retailer, you're an online e-tailer, effectively, has a media offering, right?
Yes. And we're continuing to invest in it. So our retail media platform, yes, powers all of our owned ads, so ads that you see on Instacart.com, but you'll also see them in offline channels as well. So this week we announced our YouTube partnership, where brands can use our shopper intelligence to really power their YouTube advertising. And when customers come through that experience through the funnel, we can then give them feedback and measurement on how their ads performed.
Yeah, so that's great. I think one of the things is how, right? Not just how they perform, but like how those ads show up.
Yes.
And I think that's what I was saying about, disrupting the experience, taking over a screen versus maybe embedding that content, right, in a small space that's within, maybe, I don't know what they're looking at, and then here's a pop-up for a promotion or an ad, whatever it might be.
Yeah, I mean, and we have several different ads, formats on our site. Even the video ads are really integrated into the experience. So yes, we have like the sponsored products, but even when the media is very, what I would call like more dynamic, it's still very much part of your shopping scroll, and it does not like jump out and try to stop you.
Well, kudos to you because, to us, experience is everything, right?
Yes,
right.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you talked about data a minute ago. With the demise of third-party cookies, right? What is the role of zero and first-party data playing for you all?
Yeah, and so that's related to the YouTube partnership, where we're now in this space where third-party cookies are being deprecated, and now brands can use our data to power those offline ads. So whether it's in streaming or social, you can use our data to power those experiences.
So you're sharing that data with the brands, or how? Because you have massive amounts
we
of
have massive
amounts of data flowing through your system, showing trends and what people are interested, maybe time of year, time of day, who.
Yeah. Yes. We have so much data. It's true. Yes, and we do power those experiences. And brands are able to leverage that first-party data.
Which is probably why they're getting the 15% lift in
That's
in return.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's all connected.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
We're flying through this. So the espresso works. Let's talk about something that actually has not been talked about here in Ken. Of all places, inflation. Inflation was in the news for so long, about why is everything getting so expensive, and in particular, food prices, right? Grocery shopping was getting to be very expensive. How is that factoring into how you represent your value to your customers?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's true. Inflation is, driving up the cost of groceries, and it is top of mind for consumers. And while on our platform, retailers actually set prices, we do everything to really focus on making sure that savings are truly discoverable on our platform. They're really designed in a way that are just can't miss. And so really delivering that what I call like big V value is like hard, affordable savings and deals and coupons, making sure those things are always at the tip of your finger. But then we also think about the other side of that, which is the quality of the experience, right? And we talk, like you mentioned, convenience. We know that, we want to make sure that we meet customers where they are, right? And they get the groceries that they need, that are best for them, that they can afford. But then they get what they expect to get when they order on our platform. And so we think about, what it means to be an affordable platform, both in terms of the hard prices, but also in terms of the experience.
How much do you directly survey your customers?
Quite a bit. Yeah. So we have.
And how do you do that?
So multiple mediums. So we do both, just direct surveys to our customer base. We also we measure NPS. We hold focus groups with customers. We also survey our shoppers that go in stores to do the shopping on behalf of customers. We're just in constant conversation with with our customers to understand what's best for the experience.
When people sign up, are you asking them questions about maybe their preferences in terms of what they're interested in, or even how they want to be communicated?
I mean, of course, like from a standard process of like, do you want marketing messages and things like that? We definitely do that. But a lot of what we do is, really machine learning of what you want to experience on the platform. So we have a product it's exactly what it sounds like. It's called Buy It Again.
There you go.
Right, there you go. And basically, we really do like look and listen for what the things are that you want, and making sure that then feeds the experience over and over again. We also have a product called Ask Instacart, where that is an AI-powered experience where you can use natural language in our search bar to find just about anything on our platform. So instead of instead of searching for like milk, eggs, cheese, you can search for lunch recipes for a picky toddler. Yeah.
That's pretty specific.
Yes, it's pretty specific.
You've not had that experience, have you?
Yeah. Or, I'm hosting a Memorial Day weekend barbecue. What should I cook?
Or 4th of July.
Or 4th of July.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's coming up. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And what kind of and is it interactive? Does it keep going, or is it the sort of one way?
Yeah, so it'll answer a prompt. It'll give you some results, and then if it's not exactly what you want, you can keep interacting or you start shopping. It really just tries to, really power the experience without getting in the way.
Right.
Yeah.
Very cool. So one of the interesting things I find about Instacart has to do with food. And everybody consumes food. So your customer base is kind of everyone?
It's everyone.
How do you, how do you identify, your core constituents? How do you differentiate versus what seemed to be, I know you were really early, right, in inventing this facility, and now there's lots of options.
Yes, there are.
So how do you market to this broad spectrum of audiences, and then how do you differentiate versus other options?
Oh, 100%. So yes, our target audience is everyone. Everyone in this room. If you order groceries, you are my target. But I think that that actually is a very empowering place from a brand perspective, right?
Sure.
So no matter if you are, early in your career, you're a Gen Zer, maybe you have like a mini fridge and a hot plate, or you're a mom like me with 3 kids and way too much to do, you still got to get your groceries, right? And they matter to you. Groceries matter to the consumer, meaning it's just so important to how you think about nourishment of yourself, nourishment of your family, and so there's a shared experience there. So it enables us to have a really solid core strategy. And then we just think about when we talk about campaigns and going to market, we think about that lens of where are we going with this message and allow that to sort of influence how we express that shared human truth, right? So if I'm on TikTok, I'm gonna talk about it a little bit differently than if I'm on linear television. And then when we think about differentiation, we see ourselves as the grocery experts, right? All those other guys can get you stuff, but we can get you the things that you really need, right? The groceries. And it really comes from our roots in grocery. We've been, doing this for almost 10 years. And the data that we have, the expertise of the shoppers who go in stores really puts us at a differentiated place when it comes to servicing this area.
So I can see that that's hugely valuable to the brands that participate in the offering. But how is that uniquely communicated to the consumer?
So uniquely is, people are often, not so trusting of other folks getting their groceries, right? It's such an important job, right? So when we communicate it to customers, it's all about trust. It's all about knowing that if you trust us with this shopping experience, then you will get exactly what you paid for, right? Exactly what you expect. And so for the consumer, that's really the value proposition of like making sure the online shopping experience is magical and you get those things delivered to your door in an hour. And it really is about making sure you can trust us with the job.
So that's, I mean, trust is everything, right? So how do you reward loyalty then? If you are providing a trustworthy service and people are experiencing that way, how are you rewarding that?
Yeah, and I would say lots of ways. So we have at its base, a subscription program called Instacart Plus. And it's exactly what you might think that it is,
I'm just curious, is that a large portion of your customer base, or a small portion, or the most valuable portion?
It's a considerable portion.
Okay.
We won't get into
Yeah,
specifics
no,
of
I'm just
proportion. Yeah, but it is a considerable portion of our user base. And yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. You subscribe to the program, and you get discounts on. You get like exclusive discounts. You get free delivery, lower service fees, and so it's really about understanding that you are a power user, that you use us often, and so we want to make sure that that is, an experience that feels rewarding every time.
I'm also curious on the delivery side, because it's a big operation, right? On the delivery side, are those employees of Instacart?
No. So shoppers are independent contractors. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're trained and. Yeah, obviously,
well,
yeah.
What I would say is the shoppers on our platform are probably some of the most experienced grocery shoppers in the world, right? Like many of them do thousands of batches. And so, yes, they're quite experienced. In fact, we always say, we want to be able to tell customers that a shopper will shop for you like you shop for you. But in fact, I've had shoppers who shop better than me.
Cool. So I'm just going to shift here. We've got 7 minutes left. We'll ask the audience for some questions, but just thinking about your platforms, right? We talked a little bit about this backstage. So you have a mobile app, you have a mobile web experience, and then you have desktop experience. How are you integrating the experience across those so it's maybe common? To that same consumer, and are they actually using more than one particular facility?
Yeah. So we do often see that customers use multiple platforms for shopping, and it sort of makes sense, right? Like there's times where perhaps you're doing your grocery shopping while working on your laptop, so you might use the laptop. Or
not on your work computer.
Not while you're exactly. So, or you're kicked back on the couch and you're shopping from your phone.
Right.
So yes, we see people use the multiple platforms, and how we think about that experience is you really don't feel a difference between whether you're on the app, on mobile web, or desktop. They're all really designed together, and so they don't feel like fragmented experiences.
Yeah, I think having a unified experience across those platforms is obviously key. There's nothing like there's nothing like being in an app and then all of a sudden you are taken. It feels like you're literally lifted up and out onto this HTML-like experience where you actually have to input your same data already, even though you knew who I was before. I think everybody here has experienced that, but. So to the degree you're doing that, unifying that, that's brilliant.
Yeah, we know who you are, whether you use our desktop or our app. Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, I'm going to open it up to the audience. We have a question. Shannon, is that your name? Hi, Shannon. Microphone.
Thank you. When it comes to grocery shopping, I think people are going to be doing a mix of shopping online, like with Instacart's online service, and also in store still, right? So, what are you excited about in in the aisles of the grocery store in the coming years?
Yeah, good question. So, it's true. We think the future of grocery shopping is omni-channel. So, we are making the online grocery experience magical, but the in-store experience is magical as well. Like, I love going to the grocery store, and I always will. And so as we think about what that means as a platform, we are starting to expand into in-store experiences. So we have a AI powered smart cart called the Caper Cart.
Caper.
Caper.
Caper cart.
Yes, yes. And it basically just really is a powered cart that both helps you track your savings and track your totals while you're adding things to the cart. So as you add things to the cart, it recognizes those items and sort of starts to build your list for checkout right away.
Does it know your profile? Does it know who you are?
Yeah, so it has a login. And so you can also have like your retailer loyalty savings integrated there as well. And as you go through the store, it shares with you, all the things that you're adding to your cart, how much you're spending, how much you're saving. It has there's some gamification in it too. Kids really love it because you can power this little. It's a spin the wheel. And you can spin the wheel for some discounts. But yeah, it's really about bringing that online magic into the store. And then as we think about the future, what the shopping you do in store then is integrated with the shopping you do online. And so Instacart can really be that platform no matter how you choose to shop.
I love the fact that you've just made a fundamental experience, I need food, into something that's actually pleasant. I'll tell you a little bit of a story here. So I host a podcast. It's called Masters of Max. We'd love to have you as a guest. And this week we had an episode break with the head of business or chief business officer of Lyft. And one of their core principles is to help people get out of the home. Like literally, they say people who just stay indoors all the time are sad. And so one of their core principles is, what can we do to help people with transportation leave the home? And that's a partnership you might want to explore because they're doing similar partnerships with retailers where they're providing discounts for folks that typically aren't walking to shops and maybe they're not driving as much. But they've provided a facility, ride sharing in this case, to get people out of the home, to go to a place, and they actually enjoy it. Because it's a social experience. And so it sounds like you're making the idea of shopping that much more pleasant and maybe something interesting for you to consider.
Yeah. That's a good note. I'm going to take that note.
If you notice this partnership later, it started here. It's a good podcast, though. You should come on. Yeah. Any other questions?
Hi, Jasmine. You mentioned that you all are the grocery experts and that you can get people the things that they really need. So what's your strategy been for communicating that to your audience, whether in platform or with media outside of Instacart?
Yeah, so our brand positioning, if you will, is to let us care for the groceries so that you can care for everything and everyone else that you love, right? And so when we think about that, in everything you do, every ad you see from Instacart will be one that promises you that very thing, right? So one of those examples was this past year, we were thinking about, how do we show up in a football game, for instance? Like, we're groceries, what does that look like? And we came up with this idea that, people want to watch the football game, and so but they also have to grocery shop. So maybe, just maybe, they can do both. And so our ad, Combination Football Game Grocery Store, was really just a play on, you can be here enjoying the game, but also get those things that you really need for the week.
We have time for one more question.
One more question.
Is it going to rain the rest of the day? Apparently, the weather app in Cannes never shows that it's raining. So I think it must be an override. Any other questions, really? No? Okay, we're good.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Tom.